want to understand more, and the more I listen and explore, I have that opportunity to learn more. Wyoming River Fugues is a research-based installation that was developed over a period of about 3 years. My research included interviewing people in all walks of life and different professions. In the course of my research, I found something that was revelatory to me, and that was that access to water and water rights issues are totally different here in Wyoming and in the West from the other side, the eastern side of the Mississippi. Thinking about this and compressing the 3-year thought process, I was thinking about what would be some essential visual metaphors or images that would begin to both reflect this moving the water, water issues, water access in the West, as well as be a point of departure for creating a visual poem. This juxtaposition of recognizable images, I correlate to the juxtaposition of words in the way that a poet writes a poem, so that when you take what you think, you usually use these words and string them together to make a narrative sentence. In a poem, they are doing something very different, and you may be using a different definition of that same word, but it only comes out by having put it next to a different image/word. The physical components, I decided would be the Surveyor's transits, albeit my own version of Surveyor's transits. And I decided that because the way water is accessed, the way it has to do with the way land is surveyed and partitioned off. So this became a vehicle for me to be able to explore some of these ideas. There's a fugal relationship between the video components and the installation components. The video projections appear on the wall, literally being emitted out from the tops of my Surveyor's transits. Surveyor's transit is used to view the landscape. There are 2 Surveyor's transits that the heads of the transits are oscillating as though raking the landscape. When you're using a Surveyor's transit, you're moving the transit around and looking through a lens. The reason for the circular image on the wall is because that's typically the shape of the image that one sees through a telescope, as though this is what has been zeroed into. For me, there's also an intentional isolation of an image, and you have to imagine what is outside the lens. It's about ways of seeing and how we focus on something. So the Surveyor's transit is a kind of metaphor of the landscape and my visual poem that is not a narrative piece like in a documentary, but more juxtaposing images in a way that would be evocative and provocative and have the viewer think about these ideas and explore them in a different way. This bucket seemed to have the potential for being a vehicle for carrying one's imagination. You know, it's mysterious, so its function, and particularly since it's a bucket of light and you can't really figure out exactly what it's carrying, it's to try to get the viewer to start to imagine and ask questions about relationships between what they're seeing in the videos, between the surveyor's transits. And of course, light is equated with life, and so is water. So that's kind of the circuitous link between the three of them. Being an artist is just who I am. It's the way I live in the world, and it's the way of exploring the world. I think I don't know how it would be to be anything else. For me, it enables me to bring together disparate ideas and voices and weave them together to make a piece that can stand as its own entity.
This video has been made possible by the Wyoming Arts Council and the UW Art Museum Gala Funds.